Now, if you're new to the channel, you're probably wondering, Joe, if you're a minimalist, why the hell do you have so many plants? Well, let me explain. Buckle up, you're in for a ride. So today I want to talk about some of the misconceptions people may have about minimalism. Now keep in mind that everyone has a slight different definition of minimalism and how they like to utilize minimalism into their lifestyle. So I'm just speaking from, my personal experience. This is just my opinion. But with that being said, let's get on to 3 minimalism mistakes to avoid. Jasper is clearly very excited. Jasper, you had a long walk today, didn't you? Are you tired? Are you a little sleepy boy? A little sleepy Jasper boy? Yeah? Okay. The first thing to keep in mind is that minimalism isn't a competition. It doesn't matter if you have 5 plants or 10 plants or another person has 20 plants. It doesn't matter. And that's the same thing for shoes, cutlery, clothes, etc. It's not a competition to see who has the lowest number of things. Minimalism as a lifestyle is purely intrinsic. Sure, you can look to other people to gain inspiration and see what they're doing. However, just because it works for them doesn't mean it's gonna work necessarily for you. Especially when it comes to minimalism content on YouTube, the videos that do really, really well and that are eye-catching are the very extreme forms of minimalism, whether that person owns no furniture, sleeps on the ground, or has 2 pairs of shoes. And I'm not knocking on these YouTubers, but obviously that's a lifestyle that works for them. However, it just doesn't work for me. Minimalism is a tool that you use to make your life more intentional. It's not about fitting minimalism into your life, if that makes sense. Misconception number 2 is that minimalism isn't about depriving yourself of anything. When most people think of minimalism, they think your life is going to be dull, gray, and mundane, when in reality, it's the opposite. Minimalism allows you to let go of the shit that doesn't really matter so that you can focus on the shit that actually matters. So theoretically, you should live a less shittier life. A lot of people, when they first get into minimalism, they really focus on that decluttering aspect. And although it's very important, when people go into this really very extreme form of decluttering, they almost just forget why they're decluttering in the first place. They start thinking of decluttering for the sake of decluttering and having less stuff, when in reality, you just want to get rid of the stuff that is distracting you and serving you no purpose. If you're a cook and you have 10 knives and you're decluttering because some YouTuber said so, but in reality, you actually get a lot of use and value out of your knives, then what's the point in decluttering them? Because you're gonna have to repurchase them anyways. So just be smart about your decluttering and just know and understand why you're decluttering. But yeah, minimalism isn't about living with less, it's just about living with less distractions. So the final point I wanna emphasize is that minimalism as a lifestyle doesn't have to include the typical minimalist aesthetic. There's minimalism as the post-World War II art movement, where they use a lot of simple, clean, a lot of negative space. And then there's minimalism as a lifestyle, where it's all about intentionality. And those 2 things can be separate things. You can enjoy the aesthetic of minimalism and don't give 2 shits about living more intentional. And also, you can be all about the lifestyle minimalism, intentionality, all that good stuff, but also enjoy polka dots on your walls and purple shirts, I think a lot of people get confused because, on the internet, the term minimalism is used kind of interchangeably, whether they're talking about the aesthetic or the art movement or intentionality and the lifestyle. So where you look up minimalistic apartment tours, a lot of them are kind of focusing on that monochromatic, clean space, whereas some minimalistic apartment tours kind of focus more on the lifestyle. So no wonder people are getting confused, and people are getting even more confused because there are also people that like both. I am all about minimalism as a lifestyle, but I also really enjoy just a nice, clean living space. Just look at the framing of this video right now. It is such stereotypical YouTube minimalist. It kind of bothers me. However, I personally just really enjoy this style and living with less. It's less to clean, and that's primarily my main reason. Also, when talking about minimalism as an aesthetic, we can't forget about the typical minimalist wardrobes, whether you're a guy that only wears black t-shirts, black pants, and black shoes. I'm kind of on that capsule wardrobe level. I have a ton of different colored shirts, but usually the styling is always the same, purely for efficiency. I know that I can grab a nice cut shirt, my ABC pants, my white shoes, and I'm good to go because it looks clean, it's easy, it's functional, and it's comfortable. Like, what more do you need? But at the same time, I don't want to be wearing the same black shirt over and over and over again. So it's all up to you. And speaking of shirts, let me just quickly show you guys my clothing rack for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet. I think this will be a good reality check and just, you know, show you guys that it's not a freaking competition. So as you guys can see, I have a lot of different neutral colored shirts because that's what I enjoy. Cuts also sent me some of their new colors in the new fabric, which I'm super excited to check out. So let me just give you guys a quick little first impression. So as you guys know, it always comes in this nice fancy little box. Let me just try all of them on. This one is in the color Paloma. All right, this is like a true pink. You know, I'm not a big pink shirt guy. Oh, okay. The fabric definitely feels a little bit thicker, a little bit more higher quality. But definitely still very stretchy. It feels really, really nice. Not too sure about this color though. Next up, we got the color Shark. Ooh, it's like a, what is this, gray, bluish? It's literally like a shark. But this fabric is definitely a little bit, it feels way better. It feels really good. Next up, we got the color Salt. Kind of looks white on camera, but it's definitely off-white. It's like a creamy color. I really like this. So far, big fan of Shark, as well as Salt. Okay, I think this might be my favorite. Ooh, guys, this new fabric. How is this possible? How is it better than the old one? Ooh, and the fit, are you guys seeing that shoulder and back? This is how it fits. So yeah, as you guys saw, I own quite a bit of clothes, probably more than the typical non-minimalist average guy. I've addressed this on my channel before, but a big part of what I do is testing and trying out different types of apparel, athletic apparel, and letting you guys know which ones are worth your money and which ones last over the long run. But yeah, simply put, it's a part of my work, just like you wouldn't knock a photographer or videographer having a lot of camera equipment or a cook for having lots of pots and pans. It's just a part of work. But yeah, hopefully I made it pretty clear the difference between minimalism as an art movement versus the lifestyle and how the two can be either separate, combined, or a little bit of both. You just make do with how you want to make it work. Did that even make sense? I don't know. At the end of the day, minimalism means different things for different people. Some people are financial minimalists where they try to save as much money and be as frugal as possible. Some people are environmental minimalists where they go the route of zero waste. And I think for myself, minimalism is just a tool that I use to be more intentional and more thoughtful into how I spend my time, energy, and resources. And that's just that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and remember to be less shitty.